right, welcome beautiful people, queens and kings to the NBR Show. I'm your host, Natasha B. Russell, aka NBR, and the reason why I do this show, honestly, is to inspire, to motivate, to empower you, including myself, to continually grow, to become the best possible version of ourselves every day. And the show, we interview entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur as well, and we share challenges, success stories, and things that are going to help you in life and in business. So a little bit about me. Welcome. Feel free to comment where you're from. Well, I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Don't even ever visited here before, but that's where I live, born and raised. And my parents are from Jamaica. Anybody know Jamaica, the hot, lovely island? So we usually venture out there for vacation at least once a year. But of course with COVID, that didn't happen yet. But anyway, let's talk about today's show. I'm really excited. We have a phenomenal lady. Her name is Cheryl Sutherland, and I'm going to allow her to introduce herself on the show. She's the founder of Please Note, and she is a successful entrepreneur who's doing what she loves every day with purpose, with intention, and clarity. And that's what I'm all about. So what do I do, people? A little bit about me, your host. I am the owner of NBR Strategic Solutions. So what do we do? Essentially, I coach, I speak, and I have a consulting team. So on the PR end, public relations, we help you get your brand in the public eye. So if you're a business owner or you're looking to start a business, we usually work with corporations, bigger companies. Feel free to connect with me. We can help you build a brand strategy and then execute. On a personal level, I call this my heart baby. I'm a coach, a transformation coach. I work with men and women all over the world, and I help you to do what? I help you to support yourself in creating healthy habits, overcoming your fears, boosting your confidence, more importantly, giving you a strategy for success according to what you need. I love it. It's like I said, it's my heart baby. And last but not least, I am a motivational speaker. So I host events to empower both men and women to achieve greater success according to your standards, not what society says, but what success means for you. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and you got to live it. You got to enjoy it. So do what makes you happy. So I always talk about purpose because everybody has a purpose. Honestly, we do. We were all born for a reason. And when you find your purpose, you find your life. So thank you for joining me today. I'm about to welcome Cheryl to the Instagram platform and have a chat with her. I do want to give a shout out to my new book. If you guys haven't caught the copy yet, Strategist for Success. Who is it for? I wrote this book. It's a workbook, meaning there's content in here to support you in creating SMART goals, like goals that are going to be achievable. I tell you how to create a plan, an actual strategy for success. I share with you what I call my the NBR 6 C's to success. And I talk about purpose, clarity. There's so much good stuff in here, honestly, people. So if you haven't got a copy yet, you can go online to natashabrussell.com and get your copy. $40 for the hard book, literally dinner or a movie, or the ebook version, $20. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome, thank you, I'll check it. Let's welcome Cheryl to the show. Beautiful.
Hi, gorgeous, how are you? Let me
Good,
adjust
how are
this.
you?
I'm gonna adjust this so you can see all of me. Ooh, the selfie stick is on fire. How are you? I love how we coordinated with the purple today. There was no email that went out between the two of us, in case anybody is just wondering. This just happens. Like,
it was meant to be, honestly. And I was like, initially I had on blue, and I was like, you know what? I feel purple today. Let's put on some purple. And I did a last minute change, and here we are, matching.
Look at that. And it's funny, I was doing like recordings all day, so I'm like, I can't even say that you saw it on the IGTV or something. I was like, this is it.
Nope, it just happened, people. This was naturally it was meant to be. So how are you doing? Where are you? Are you in Ontario, right?
I am. I'm over in Niagara Falls to make it super easy. Am I lopsided? Hang on. There we go. I feel better about that.
Yeah,
I'm in Niagara Falls. I moved down here, probably about like 6 months ago at the start of Rona season, and it's been amazing.
Okay, so you're loving it. So you're close to the falls. I love being next to the falls, right? Like you can go out and have a little scenic walk or a picnic or chill out, whatever it might look like for you, and then still do great work wherever you are, right? So I'm going to allow you, I'm so excited to have you on the show, the NBR Show. It's all about entrepreneurship, as you know, success, sharing stories, to inspire, motivate, and empower other people out there, other business owners, other people who are thinking of starting their business, or just the everyday person in their career that's looking for ways to maybe add their special mark, you know? So your special mark, I'm so excited to have you because I've been watching you grow. For people who don't know, Cheryl used to live in Calgary and we went to the same high school, but obviously I'm a couple years older than you. So we were not in the same class, but I saw her and then she's just blossomed into this beautiful young lady who is now doing marvelous things, you know?
Well, you're just trying to gas me up, girl. Just gassing me up. Jeez.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself to the beautiful people that are watching us and that will watch the replay. Who is Cheryl Sutherland?
Who am I? That's a question I ask myself on a frequent basis. And I mean, depending on who you ask, you might get a couple things. You might get that I am an extraordinary entrepreneur, that I am steeped in personal growth magic, that I love adventure, and that I love a good challenge. Some people might just say that I am a fantastic person and somebody that they love hanging out with and somebody that, you know, makes them feel safe. How I think, especially when it comes to business, the easiest way for me to say who I am, what I do, and what I'm all about is essentially I'm all about helping you become your favorite version of you. And I think that that is so juicy because everybody has a different version of success. Everybody has like a different zone of genius. And in allowing ourselves to step into that, that's when we allow everybody else to be their biggest, baddest, most magnificent versions of themselves. We bring in innovation. We bring in heart magic, this level of creativity that we've never seen before. So I guess that's where'd that intro come from? I don't know. You gotta ask God on that one.
Well said. I love, one word that resonated with me is the magic. I love that. And honestly, we're on the same journey here because a lot of what you do, I do, in the sense of helping and supporting people in becoming the best version, the version that they've always wanted to be. And it's not something that you arrive at. It's a destination, right? So every day, what are you doing to build yourself up, to create this vision that you have for your life or for yourself and to work toward it? And that's one thing I love about you is that I believe the more of us who are coaching and speaking life out there, being that, it's so easy to be negative nowadays. And sometimes people gravitate toward the negativity, but I'm the light, you're the light. And I love connecting with other people that are shedding light on this world, right? Because we all got a gift. And I believe that when we pursue that and we share with intention in the world, magical things happen. I'm going to use that word going.
Honestly, okay. So this is like the plethora of words you could use. You could use delicious, you could use juicy, you could use nutritious, you could use magic, like like we go use all those words, girl.
I love it. Juicy, delicious. And so people that are watching, feel free to share. And if you have questions for Cheryl as we're starting to chat, put your questions in the Q&A. I will review them as they come in and we can have her answer them. So we know who you are, this passionate, creative, innovative, beautiful woman who is on a mission to continue to, shed your light and help people become their best version of themselves according to what they deem their version, right? Tell me a little bit about who inspires you or what inspires you to get up every day, to do what you do?
It's interesting because I feel like I'm in that space where I'm like Snoop Dogg, like I inspire myself. And I say that without being full of myself because I've never really looked up to anyone. There's people that I'm like, wow, I'm proud of you. You've done a good job. Like people of course, my parents. But that's pretty much about it. And I guess for context, if anybody's all like, what are you doing when you wake up? There's so many things. So I've got a plethora of things that I do. Please Notes Goods, which you may see in the header there, is basically my line of affirmation-filled goods. And I basically make personal growth fun, easy, and accessible through either my guided journals, my workshops, and then I also have reminders that you can do or have anything you want. So I've got some of these sweet little enamel pins, like this one that says Manifest Magic. Ooh. I've also got sticky notes. You'll love this one. This one's one of my favorites, the self-made one.
Oh, I need to get that one.
Right? I've also got water bottle decals, mirror decals, and it's really down to the fact that if you're making a change mentally, you have to continue to reinforce the change that you actually want to create. And that's why we've got those little things. And then I've decided to take it up a notch. So I also do like speaking and workshops and stuff as well. And then now we're doing some really juicy integrative 6-week courses to just let you steep in the confidence, like just steep in the power and like evolve into, again, your successful version of you. So.
I love it. I love it. I see so much synergy there in what we both do, right? And that's the thing. It all begins with the mindset, people. Like, you got to, I always say this, you got to believe it to receive it. Whatever you put out to the universe, you're going to get it back. So if you believe you're going to attain something or achieve something, you will. It's going to take some work, obviously, depending on what that goal is. Or if you think that you're not set up for success, I'm not good enough, I'm not confident enough, I'm a failure, whatever people may have said about you or did to you, you can't allow that to define you, people. You got to know who you are. And it starts with the mindset. You got to believe without a doubt that you are capable. And I believe you have one of those notebooks that says, I'm capable of wondrous things. I believe seeing one of those, right?
Yeah. All of my clarity journals. So these ones help you actually figure out what your next steps are in life, what you want to create, what you're in love with, what you haven't allowed yourself to risk, and what do you want to leave behind. And these come in 4 colors. It comes in the in true, and then there's also a black and a pink, or a black, a red, and a turquoise. The red is limited edition. It's not a red anymore.
It's I'm like, I love red.
It's purple.
I should get the red one.
Yeah, courage was a great one.
My bread.
Yeah. And then like all of them have like a little affirmation on the side. So this one says, I'm clear and confident. I've also got my new gratitude journals. And then those ones come in a couple colors. But the fan favorite so far has been the white with the rose gold. And it just says, I'm exactly where I need to be. And then I'm loved at the side. So
love it, love it, love it, love it. So, okay, before we dive in a little bit more about what you've been up to, because I can see you've been really busy. Tell me, or you're in the audience, something funny about you, a funny fact that we probably wouldn't know about Cheryl.
Jesus, am I funny? A funny fact that you wouldn't know about me, other than the fact that I was raised in Calgary. Yikes. I think
what are you gonna say about Calgary? I still live here, girl.
I mean, I just say that because until I left, I didn't realize how different it is in comparison to other places that are a little bit more open to new ideas. I think is the easiest way to say that.
Okay.
And fun fact, I microwave everything at 125 and then just open it early. I think that the funnest fact about me would be, am I fun? No. I mean, I prefer parasailing over skydiving. Is that fun? I think that's fun. That's fun. I've done both. That's fun.
I'm not gonna go skydiving. I'll be honest. I would never do skydiving. Why would I want to?
It's kind of boring.
No, I don't think it's actually. Have you done it before?
Yeah.
You jumped out of a plane?
Yeah, that's why I like parasailing versus skydiving.
No
skydiving
way.
just like takes so long to get you up in the air. Once you're up in the air, it's just like you just drop and then you're like, okay, yeah, this is cool. And then like you can't, like you drop really quickly. So you're like done in like 2 minutes. But like the lead up is like hours. But parasailing, you're like out there on the beach, you're up in the air, you're coasting around there for 10 minutes. You can take some pictures, take some selfies, really, really enjoy the nature of it, and then come down. So
I'm impressed. I'm not doing skydiving. I'm like, why would I potentially want to risk my life jumping out of a plane? You're definitely.
I mean, what? If it's your time, it's your time. Like God's plan.
Right? I know, but I'm like, if I could, and I could, that would be very liberating. But do I want to? No, I like the parasailing though. I love it in the beach, especially at Jamaica.
Much better, especially on the beach.
Yeah, but the skydiving, I haven't got there yet. But the part about risk is so true in me becoming an entrepreneur, right? Because you got to take risks in doing what you do, especially when you're doing it for yourself, right? So question, how long have you been like a full-time business owner? How long has it been for you?
Jesus. This winter, it will be 5 whole years.
Yay! Congratulations.
I know, right? I have a toddler.
You have a toddler?
No, but I will, like my business will be 5 years.
I was like, did you have a baby? I don't even know. Yes. That's exactly what business, like, it's like I say, it's your baby, right? Like, it's growing, every year or every, month, you should be learning something. I always say in business, focus on what's working, do more of that. What's not working, people, get rid of it. Don't put your energy there. I've had clients who said, oh, well, everybody has an online course, so I need to have it. I'm like, does it make sense for your business? No. Well, then why would you? So you got to be so strategic in how you do your business, and why, most importantly, why are you doing your business? For me, it's going to be almost 2 years full time completely, and it's exciting. I look forward to, yes.
I was so excited when I saw that post where you're like, I'm done. And I'm like, yes.
I know. I think it took me a while to get there because fear, like, what if it doesn't turn out? What if, I don't get to be where I want to be a year from now, make the money I was making, right? But it took a lot of faith, and I'm doing it. And I could never look back. I could never look back. It's interesting that you said you were in Calgary, and I've thought about leaving Calgary because I'm like, Calgary's a bit, you know what I mean? Maybe people out there are like, who's Calgary? What's Calgary? But I don't know. I think because I was born here and families here, and I think with business, you can do it anywhere, essentially, with technology now. But leaving for you, I think, may have helped you, would you say, to branch out a little bit more, to connect with like-minded people who want to support your business?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I actually started my business once I had left Calgary and was living in California. So when I originally was down there, I had worked for a business coaching firm, then switched to working to a marketing PR firm. And one of the things that I always love about California is it feels like it's one of those like little pressure cookers where you get to just like put in all the things that you want and see so many people being so creative and creating so many things. And like, it doesn't matter. Like, you'll see people that are like actors, waitresses, and Uber drivers. You'll see people that have like an app and then they're like, working at Starbucks and do all these things. Like, creativity and just like whoever you are, whatever your passions are, what you're there to create is all that really matters. And there's like not really any judgment and stuff like that around it. Versus in Calgary, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't be remiss to say that there are certain pockets of individualism. However, doing anything out of the norm is not really a great thing. Like, being an oil and gas town, we're really focused on the things that are safe, the things that are risk averse, like banking, gas, all of that sort of stuff. Being in corporate versus like starting your own business or like starting an artisanal decoupage, something like really following your passions and like making that your big priority isn't really supported as much.
I can agree with you on that for sure. Especially coming from corporate. I worked in corporate for like 15 plus years, first in legal and then in like energy, oil and gas. And yes, everything's very risk adverse and structured and, like, can we take a leap and try this? No. Like, I remember even just social media coming in at a time where I'm like, we need to be on here. And the VPs were like, no, we definitely don't. I'm like, well, why don't you want to give people a voice to share their concerns or to connect, right? But we've come a long way, and now everybody's in that social media wagon and trying to share their message and so forth. But for you and everything that you do, I would ask you, like, entrepreneurship is great, but it's not easy. We know this. It's not a cakewalk. Like, it's built for a certain kind of person. You got to be self-motivated. You got to show up on the days when you don't want to show up. What would you say are some challenges that you've had to overcome that you can share with the audience?
I think my biggest challenge has always been myself. And I say that because starting a business is like the most intensive personal growth process that you could ever have. When you choose into starting a business, you really have to focus on why you're choosing the things that you're choosing. Like, for example, if you're choosing to go with one manufacturer versus another, it really comes down to, is it just money? Is it more along the lines of like shipping times? Like, what is the thing that you're attached to? Oftentimes, I know for myself, one of the biggest growth that I've experienced is moving through making decisions from a space of scarcity to a space of abundance. Like, okay, what's the best course option that can happen? Now, I know when I was first starting my business and I was creating my business plan, and bear in mind, at that time, I just had sticky notes, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna be a millionaire off of these paper things, right? Like it's fine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need to make sure that I have a manufacturer that can handle the amount that I need and the quality that I desire. I need to make sure that I align myself, that have people that have the ability to create multitudes of different products in case I decided to have additional product lines. Like I needed to think with the end in mind, which was me retiring in my mid to early 30s and just sharing this magic with as many people as I can to support them in being their best selves. And I think when I started making, like, again, as you'll grow up and you'll grow in, like you'll run into things where you're thinking, oh my gosh, like, do I have the money for this? Is this a really great idea? Why am I doing this? Oftentimes people will act from scarcity, as in like, I have to make sure I keep all my money. And sometimes it plays out in the reverse where it's all like, I need money to solve this problem. And unfortunately, during the first couple of years of my business, I thought I just needed to get more money to put in these different places and it will be okay. However, it wasn't that. It was authentically like I needed to be okay with being vulnerable and stepping into the next version of myself. So my company was asking me to evolve into a speaker, into doing more workshops, into doing more facilitation, because that was authentically my zone of genius. And the more that I hung out down there, I wasn't doing the work that I was supposed to be doing up here. So that's probably my biggest learning.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Did you hear what you just said? People operating out of abundance and not out of scarcity. How often do we do that in business? You know, I have people that come and they're like, I can't afford this. I'm like, stop saying, I can't afford this. Start saying, how can I afford this? And like what you talked about, like, you know, in your business, like you were that limit. You were the person that was sort of, you know, your roadblock. And once you were allowed to just like step out and be free and be like, this is exactly how I want to operate. This is my vision. This is where I want to be. And how do I get there? I love it. For me, when I started my business, oh my gosh, I did everything I knew that I shouldn't be doing, especially coming a PR marketing background. Like, I'm not a marketer. It's very different than PR. You know, PR is relationship building. I'm a communicator. But I started marketing to everyone. No, I wasted thousands. I shouldn't say wasted. Learned through spending thousands of dollars marketing to everybody. I wanted to help everybody. But when I took a step back and really sat and said, really, Natasha, what are you like? What is the results you want to give? Who do you actually want to work with? What are their pain points? Then I was able to establish more of like, you know, you talk about key messages. We know this, right? And targeting who I really wanted to and what did I want to do? Not what did I need to do? And I remember when I started out, because I was like, oh my God, this is new to me. Like I've been working for someone for so long, knowing eventually I would have my own company. But I remember hiring a branding strategist to talk about how to brand myself, you know? And I remember she just kept pushing me back to the PR because that's all I knew, really, essentially. I'm coming into new territory. Now I've gone and invested $1,000 into education to become a coach and a, you know, speaker. But she kept pushing me back to what I already knew. And in PR, I'm like, but that's not what I love. That's not, I would just stay in corporate then if that was the case. I really want to impact people's life in a greater way. And so when I really connected to that, I start to reorganize my business model. Now I only do strategy, which is what I love on the PR end. And then I have a team to facilitate everything else that I don't enjoy. And then I get to do what I really love, like you said, like the speaking and the, you know, the coaching and facilitating workshops, which is where you can impact and operate at your best level. And that's what I'm hearing is that now you're operating at your best level. You're not looking at what do I not have or, but abundance, like the world's my oyster and I can have it all if I'm doing what I really want to do. So I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. I hear we have a question. Hello, Queens. I'm sorry. I left what I was viewing. Please note, start shop. It is very interesting. Do you take direct express? Because I'm on a set income, but I want to support Black African business. Well, thank you, Mavry, that you want to support. This question's for you, Cheryl. Do you take direct express?
I've never heard of direct express. I take credit cards. I take Venmo. Well, no, not on the website. I take PayPal. I take most credit cards and PayPal. So unfortunately, I'm not 100% clear on direct express. Okay. But if you send me a message directly, then we'll sort something out.
Sounds good. Do you hear that? Send her a DM directly and she'll figure it out for you. Awesome. Okay. So we talked about challenges. You were essentially your roadblock in entrepreneurship. Now you've overcome that. You're no longer operating out of scarcity, but of abundance. People, I got to resonate that again. Operate out of abundance. I would say that abundance, such a great word. Like, you can have it all, truthfully, you can, but you got to know it's going to be a process. But why do you want what you want? And when you have it, will you actually be fulfilled? I always ask this question and to people that I work with, and like the first thing is your why. Like, what is that real underneath why as to why you want to have what you have? You want to have a business with lots of money, but why? Like, what's the point of having the business? Is that business fulfilling you? Are you doing what you're meant to do, or you just doing something to make money? Very different.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because like I am a very huge like proponent and like lover. I'm like, I'm an evangelist, I guess, for the law of attraction, and I'm a huge Abraham Hicks fan. And one of the things that they talk about is really like everything that you want is just because you think you're going to feel better in the having of it. So once you start to boil down, okay, what is the thing that I want? So for me, again, also I'm a first generation Canadian. I know that like your family background is from Jamaica, but I'm not too sure where you were born.
I was born here in Calgary.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So there you go. So my big thing has always been, I've always seen my parents be like, oh, we need to send money home, or the money just got home in time, or, you know, like we're only shopping at Army and Navy or shopping the red tags and because we have to conserve that money to take care of people. So for me, money always meant security. So having a lot of money or having money coming in always meant, you know, that I was okay. However, at the same time, there gets to be a point where you're like, is this enough money? Do I need more money? What is actually enough money? So instead of being attached to the actual financial part of it, because as you make more money, you're going to spend more money and it's going to be in the same space. So when you take a step back and say, okay, well, what does this money mean to me? This money means security. Okay, well, how can I practice being secure right now? Well, what does that actually feel like? What is the feeling of security? So it could be, you know, just noticing what's around you that allows you to steep in the feeling of being secure. What is it around you that, or even examples of previous things that have happened in your life that will allow you to feel secure? For me, I've just been go through, like, I always say my life is either going to be like, people either see it as a shit show or an amazing lifetime movie. There's no in between. And I say that just because of all the moves that I've done and like anyway. And I think for me, the thing that I have never thought that I was in danger, I was always taken care of no matter what. I could have been in like the oddest circumstance with the oddest people. And like, okay, how did this happen? And consistently know that I'm okay. So the more that I steep in that and allow that evidence to come to fruition, then the easier it is for money to flow into me. The easier it is for all these circumstances that we've been, you know, asking to come into our lives, because the universe wants to give us all the things. We just need to allow her to do the things. Come through, girlfriend, come through.
I love it. And I agree with that. It's the mindset you have around money, right? Like, what's the relationship? Are you holding on to it tight because I need, and same thing, like I grew up with parents always sending barrels back home, you know, to help other people, food, save your clothes, we can ship it. Or, you know, you go to Jamaica, you literally come back with just what you were probably wearing in a few outfits, you know? But I love what you said, because sometimes we get caught up on that dollar amount, or do we have enough, that scarcity mindset. You can't have that, especially in business. And once I've allowed, like, it's been 2 years, like I live a pretty great life. You know, I'm a single mom, I own a couple of properties, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I've always had what I needed more than enough. And starting out in business, you know, is not easy. So for me, again, I had to take time to transform my mindset to believe I could have everything I wanted and I could receive it, all in God's perfect timing. And as I allowed that to happen and build a better relationship, like, hey, I'm a giver. I was always giving, like give. It always comes back tenfold. Mm-hmm. So people, you got to refrain your mindset. If whatever it is, sometimes I say that is holding you back, is what you actually need to let go of so that you can receive more, right? Yeah. So whatever that fear tactic is, whatever that's thinking you can have it, you got to release that and let go so you can get it, so you can receive it. All right. I want to talk about mindfulness a little bit. So
okay,
I was
let's talk about it.
I was checking out your website and you talked a lot about mindfulness. So give some tips out there to the people. How do you make mindfulness work for you? And what actually is mindfulness according to you? first and foremost.
You were looking at the Cheryl Sutherland website, weren't you? I was all like,
I gotta do my research, girl. I gotta do my research.
So I think mindfulness is one of those buzzwords that people keep throwing around all willy-nilly these days. And the big thing with mindfulness is it's just all about making sure that your work, your play, your physical health, your relationships, that they all support you, because the most important part of you is up here. It's your mental processes, your mindset, and just the way that you see the world. So we all know people that have like a really high EQ and people that have a low EQ. People that have a high EQ tend to overcome obstacles quicker because they know that there's a solution. They tend to not stick on to negative things that happen and move through them because they're able to see the benefit of them, or just move through that just easier, knowing that there is a benefit somehow. While people that have a lower EQ are definitely those that no matter what magic could happen, like free donuts, Jason Momoa giving foot massages, all these amazing things could happen, and they'd be like, well, I don't know. He wasn't wearing that little like Dothraki outfit that I wanted him in. You know, like those, there's always going to be people that will always see a problem with things, but it comes down to what you tell yourself and what you train yourself to believe. So again, as you're growing up, you're going to be around a plethora of people, whether it be like coaches, teachers, family, et cetera, and they're always going to put what their own learnings are onto you. So oftentimes some of them are great, and then they'll like help you survive, and oftentimes they're not. They're outdated and they're detrimental. Now that we've become adults, or even like semi-conscious, we can choose, do we want this or do we not? And then the more you start pouring into yourself, like you are now responsible for that level of mindfulness. What kind of day do you want to experience? Like, so that could look like setting your intentions at the beginning of the day. That could be like taking a moment out to like take a meditation, or like go for a walk, or notice, you know what, I don't feel good inside right now. What do I need to do in order to move through that? And that could look like journaling. That could look like not going against your intuition. It all really depends. However, I think that the easiest way to get started in a mindfulness practice would be to start journaling. I actually have a workshop that's Journal Your Way to Clarity. And it's great because I actually used to be a huge journaling hater. And I say that because, people are like, you own the company though. And I'm all like, but wait. So I used to be a huge hater because when I first started personal growth, I'd never journaled before. And like, they're like, yeah, you have to go and journal. And I'm all like, what do you mean you're going to put us on silence and journal? This is, and then I'd be writing, I'm like, this is stupid. I'm only doing this because they're making me, like, I don't know what this is supposed to prove. Like, I have feelings, but blah, blah, blah. But I noticed that the thing that was stopping me from being like fully committed or like being open is it was so vulnerable. Like, you cannot lie to yourself when you're writing. Like, you know internally if you're making up something or if you're not. And then actually going through the process of like writing all that stuff out, you have to be real with yourself. It makes it tangible. It makes it real. And I think the biggest thing in starting your mindfulness journey is really connecting back to you, your inner GPS, learning how to trust yourself again, learning how to tap back into your intuition. And again, the fastest, easiest way that I know how to do that is through journaling. And of course, making sure that you're adding in like a nice meditation process that really works for you. But honestly, the journaling, it's like A1. And that's why I actually really love my journals because, and again, biased. However, I make them for people that, right? Like, you want to get into something and you don't know how. So like the Clarity Journal is specifically structured for that, with like the instructions in the front and every page having a different affirmation or inspirational quote. Like, I've got DJ Khaled in there. I've got J. Cole. I've got Kobe Bryant. Like, it's a good mix. And then of course I've got like the gratitude journals that really help you start changing your mind to just be happier. Because the thing is, we keep being told that in order to be successful, you have to struggle. But the people that are really successful right now are not struggling. That doesn't make sense. It's a lie that's been taught. So the more we enjoy our lives, even right here, right now, in this moment today, the more we're able to attract the things that we want. In addition, I've got some digital journals as well. So one's a guided manifestation one and a guided dream one. And the more that we practice, again, tapping into our intuition, our higher self, our learnings, like, we understand that all of our answers have always been inside, the easier it's going to be for you to have a better experience on the outside.
I should be taking notes, girl. There's so many things I want to comment on based on what you just said. Everything that we need is within us. Everything that we need is within us, people. It is. You just gotta trust and believe that. Journaling. I've actually always been a journaler. That's the funny thing. I in school, I have journals that I could talk even from like elementary. Like I've kept them just because I'm like sometimes it's fun to go back and read. But I've always enjoyed journaling, and that's true. You have to be true with yourself, because why? You can't be bullshitting yourself. You can't. Like, and if you are, then you're not ready for growth. And that's what growth is. It's really looking in the mirror and saying, hey, these are some things I want to change. Like, get real with yourself. This is some things, maybe some habits. I talk a lot about habits, like with my clients, for example, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So set yourself up for success. How do you start your morning? Like, I love what you said about starting with intention. Yes. A big part of what I do with my clients is setting up affirmations, creating positive affirmations that you believe, though. You got to believe it.
You got to believe it. It has to be 50% believable. Otherwise, it's like...
If not, it ain't going to work. You got to believe what you're saying to yourself, people. Your affirmations have to be believable to you. Secondly, I talk about gratitude. Every day, there must be something that you can be thankful for. Focus on the positive, because if not, you can tend to go down that negative, mindset, and then your whole day will unravel that way. So there's a lot of commonalities there. I love it, Cheryl, because people that you don't have to be struggling to be successful, that you have to have clarity. That's the first thing. Clarity. No. Well, figure out your purpose. I always say purpose. What's your purpose? What is your gift that you give to the world? Once you know that with clarity, pursue that with intention. And I want to talk a little bit about success, because in a world right now where there's so much, things on social media. I was watching this, when I was getting my hair done a couple weeks ago now, I guess. There's this documentary on Daily Mail talking about, all these people that are doing plastic surgery, all these enhancements to their body, not even knowing 10, 15, 20 years from now, they're going to be sick potentially with what they've injected. And my thing is, really, people, we need to love ourselves for who we are. Change is not about becoming somebody else. Change is about loving you for who you are. And every day, how do I be my best self? So what is your mindfulness practice, Cheryl? How do you start your day? I'm curious.
I was all like, are you going to ask me about plastic surgery? Because I'm here for it.
No, I know you wouldn't. And that's something I love about you, girl. I know you rock yourself with confidence. I relate. I see that.
That's something I've been working on. It's so funny when people are like, how did you get so confident? I'm all like, who are you talking to? Because I know you're not talking to me. Honestly, I was like, I actually laughed in someone's face right now. It's just me. Really, yeah. I was especially when I was younger, I had the lowest self-esteem, I think, until I was probably about 24, 25, until I was like, oh, I can actually ask for what I want and actually get it. Or oh, I can put boundaries around that, and that's okay. It's really weird. Anyway, well, not weird. I mean, it's obvious.
I have a lot of things. Story. I didn't have confidence, and that could go down and have a whole talk about confidence. I did not have confidence growing up. Mine was it was in relation to an illness I had that is now, thankfully, I'm good. It was 2 years, but it really hurt my confidence because I started to gain a lot of weight and I didn't feel good. And all my friends were wearing their cute little tops in the summer or whatever, and I was just wearing sweaters and jogging pants, and I didn't want to show any shape, or you know what I mean. But confidence is a huge issue nowadays with girls and men. Believe it or not, I coach a lot of men who struggle with confidence. And so it goes both ways. It's not just a thing that women deal with. Men too have insecurities. But anyway, let's get back to the chat, because I know we don't have much more time. But I just wanted to ask you, before we go into, I have a couple more questions for you. How do you start your day? What's your mindfulness practice? I'm curious.
Yeah. So first thing I do when I wake up, and every day is a little bit different, but for the most part, the first thought that comes to my mind before I let everything come and race in my head about my to-do list is, I am not of this world. I am in this world. And I keep saying that to myself. I'm not of this world. I'm in this world, because that reminds me that all of this does not matter, that it does not really exist, that I can do whatever I want and create whatever I want, and just to be easy with myself. Like, all of us are just here to live our best lives, and everything is here to serve us. However, this is all just temporary, so it doesn't really matter. And then I usually, either if I don't like sit in bed just like really relishing the deliciousness of what life is, then I'll usually just pop into a meditation. I have a really great playlist that has a couple different versions. So there's like some chanting meditations that I got from Gabrielle Bernstein's book. I've got Wayne Dyer, and Wayne Dyer is like my favorite person. So Wayne Dyer, I've got some Abraham Hicks meditations, and then I've just got some just silent meditations or breathing meditations as well. So depending on what I'm drawn to, I'll do one of those. And then my sister has been the workout queen. Like, I don't know how she has so many workout tapes. I think she like pulls onto like a candlestick, and then it just like spins around. But yeah, so she makes me work out with her. And then I usually like wash myself and start my day. But that's what life looks like.
The funny thing is, I love like I start my thing. I have a phrase I say every morning, like, thank you God for waking me up this morning in my right sound mind. That's usually the first thing I see when I open my eyes. Some people say, like on my team, like, because we have gratitude moments when we have our team meetings, and I share that. They're like, well, why do you say that, Natasha? I'm like, because you never know. People go to sleep, God forbid, and they don't wake up. So I'm thankful for a new day ahead. Because I have a new day means I can go at it again with purpose and intention and clarity. And that's what we need to do every day, people, is love our life and work towards creating the life we truly love. You know, everybody that you consider successful didn't just wake up and become successful unless they inherited it. You know, which I don't think that's really true success. If you got to work for what you want. So yeah, thanks for sharing your mindfulness routine, Cheryl. I do want to start doing some more like guided meditations. I do my own kind of meditations. But I like the idea of what you've been sharing with what you've been doing. And then of course the workout, I can agree. If I don't work out, honestly, my day is just not the same. Like, working out for me is not about losing weight. It's about giving me energy. It's about clearing my mind. It's about giving me the stability that I need to start my day. And it gives me more energy, you know, so it's a win-win. So good on you and your sister for pulling you in there and reading you in. So
I know that I have to be here for a very long time to do a lot of really great things.
Yeah.
And I might as well do it and look delicious. And like, but I mean, like, there's that, but then also it's like, do I want to be like 90 and like, you know, running around? Do I want to be, you know, I don't have any kids yet, so I'm not even going to start about grandkids.
Yeah.
But
I want to be there for my grandkids.
You know,
they come
huh?
No, like, I want to be there for my daughter's only 7, so
right.
We're not married yet. But when it comes down the road, I want to be there, like you said, for your grandkids, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be anything hard, but it's kind of cool to like change your mindset around like, I'm doing this to work against my body, than to change it to I'm working with my body, you know, and really appreciate like, oh, look at this, and like, oh, look, my abs is popping, or oh, I didn't know I could do this move, or oh, look, I'm getting stronger. It's just like the way that you contextualize it really supports you, even if you really don't like doing something. Like, try to see the good in it. So,
and you know what else? And find something that you actually enjoy. You don't have to be the person that goes to the gym every day. That's not your thing. YouTube, there's so many videos out there. You can do yoga, or you can go for a walk. It's just about moving your body and what feels right for you. And as you continue to find what you love, you're going to want to do it. It's not going to be like, oh, I need to do this because I want to change my body, but I'm doing this because I love my body and I appreciate it. And I want it to serve me very long, you know, for a very long time. So yeah, people get out there and be active. I love it. Right? If you have any questions, we're wrapping up with the beautiful Cheryl. This has been so great, Cheryl. It's not often I meet somebody, like, I swear, like-minded, like all about changing, you know, helping people to become their best selves every day. And it's a journey, people. It doesn't happen overnight. So if you have questions for Cheryl, put them in the Q&A and I'll get to them. I haven't seen any pop up yet. What else I want to ask you?
So funny. So like, I love how we were talking about working out. So like, one of the things that I love so much is, and then just the way that I chose to see like all these different things, because I prefer to work out in a gym, and I've been like, I'm not doing this. I hate working out at home. Yeah. But there's so many opportunities to do new things that I never knew that I could even like play with. Like, I just fell in love with Pilates. I'm like, this is really cool, and it's really hard. And like, look at my abs, right? So Yeah, so that's really fun, I guess. That's to say about that.
No, I love it. I love it. You gotta you gotta find. No, on a serious note, your health is your wealth. I've been talking a lot about that. I finally finished up my health certification. It took me a bit longer. I wanted to do it in 6 months, which was the program. It took me almost a year because COVID happened, working from home, like mom, homeschool teacher, now all of this. So it took a bit longer, but I'm done. And it feels great to add that, some more tools to my tool belt to help my clients and future clients. But your health is your wealth, people. And so you got to find what works for you and do that. Not what everybody else is doing, but what works for you. Like I remember when I tried yoga, Cheryl. This was a few years back. Honestly, I couldn't, like the whole breathing and being so calm, given my nature, I think, and the energy that I naturally have, it was hard for me to do at first. But then it helped me once I was able to control my breathing with mindfulness, meditation. But I honestly love the high energy stuff. Like I like to be upbeat. That's my thing. But you got to just do what works for you. So if we're wrapping up here, what do you think is the most? Yeah, we have like literally.
I was gonna say, it's hilarious.
What?
Do you know Marie Forleo?
Yes, I love.
Do you know that she used to be a workout person?
No, I didn't know she used to do dance. I know that.
But yeah, so you can Google it. I have a video, but it's legit. The women's health, like wedding something, she's got her whole workout tape. So I'm watching this tape and I was like, why does she look so familiar? And I'm just like, Marie Forleo. And I say that to say, like, she would have been in the top of her career in order to have like lead her own workout DVD with women's health. And yet she chose to follow her heart into doing this new career and has made such an impact. So I say that because if you're, and again, in a season of transition, trying to figure out what next steps are, all of those thought processes of, I can't do this, I'm not able to do this, I'm too old, I'm too blah, 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 they're all absolute garbage. That's your brain's way of attempting to keep you safe. What you need to do is follow the things that like make you feel good, that make you feel alive, even if it's like a small way. It might not even be you're switching your whole career, but it might just be bringing in more joy to all areas of your life.
I love it. And that is exactly it. It's the mechanism in the brain. We call it, I'm losing the word for it now.
Is it the amygdala?
No.
I don't know where it came from. Like,
I don't know. No, but I resonate with what you're saying.
It's your lizard brain. It's your lizard brain.
It's the critter brain. It's the critter brain. It's the critter brain. The critter brain will tell you all the reasons why it's not going to work out. But if you can get rid of that and say, hey, thank you. I know you're trying to protect me. Silence that, but I'm still going to move forward. You're going to find greater abundance, greater fulfillment, greater joy, greater happiness, greater peace and success and money. I'm going to talk about money, yes, because we need that in what you do. And you're going to love it. And my coach, because I have a coach too, I believe we all need one. Honestly, whoever you work with, make sure it's someone that they're relatable, that they actually can give you results, that they're not just put up shop today, I'm a coach today, whatever. But my mentor / coach, she said to me the other day, I was asking, I'm working on transitioning some things in my business on the PR end. And she said, Natasha, the heart has all the answers. The mind has all the questions. And I thought that was so powerful because it's true. Like our mind it was created to ask questions, right? So we're always wondering what if, and what if that doesn't. But if you look within people, in your heart, what do you love to do? That you do, I say this, even if you weren't getting paid for it. But if it's a business, you should be getting paid. Do that. Do that. That's your calling. Do that. So as we wrap up here, what is the most successful or most rewarding thing, Cheryl, that you get to do every day or in your career so far in almost 5 years of entrepreneurship that you would like to know today? What is it? If you were to, what's the most successful or accomplishing or the thing that you just love so far in your journey through entrepreneurship that you want to share?
I feel like it's like picking a kid. It's really hard to pick one. I think when Les Brown was like co-signing my brand and was like, yeah, like I love her stuff. That was pretty cool. I think when I was in Forbes, that was pretty cool. However, I think the juiciest thing has always been getting the emails or, seeing people post their stuff on social media and say like, I got this from a friend and this is how it changed my life. Because then it really makes it very clear that like what walking in the reason that I wanted to start my own company in the first place was to help people in my own way, in a way that felt powerful, in a way that felt purposeful. And when I hear people that are like, "Oh my gosh, your please notes," and I'm like, "Oh my God, you know me, like I'm important." Like it's always so refreshing, and like that's why I mean I'm really loving this new workshop or this new 6-week course that I just put together to help other people do that as well, and to walk in your own purpose with that level of clarity.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. You cut out there for a little bit, but I heard most of it. I wanted to wrap up with this because I know we're big on quotes. I love quotes. Do you have a favorite one? I know there's probably many, but if you had to choose one, do you have a favorite quote that you would share with others?
Oh my gosh, I do. It's actually from the Bible, which is very odd for me.
Okay.
I have it because I'm not like me. My family has a history with the Jesus. It's fun.
Okay.
Now we're homies.
That'd be another show.
No. Now we're homies. It's just my dad was like super into Jesus and like the things when we were younger. However, I don't remember exactly what it was. It's Exodus 14 something, and it's the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And it always reminds me that I don't have to be the catalyst. I don't have to be the one turning the knobs and doing all the things all the time. That it's okay for me to relax and let the universe take care of things. And sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed or like I have no support or I have to do the things, I just remember like, no, Cheryl, everything is always taken care of. Everything's falling into place. Like just relax and like let the goodness flow in. And then it does.
I love it. It's reminding me of be still and know that I'm God, right? Like be still, people. Trust the universe, trust God that it's already all mapped out, but all you need to do is take action. And a lot of times that's where we fall off as people or as individuals who want to start our own business or who start a business, maybe it's not going so well, so you want to just give up, is knowing that it is going to work out, but you got to believe it to receive it. I said that again because I honestly believe wholeheartedly. Every time I've gone through a challenge, oh my God, trusting it and letting it go and actually thanking God and the universe for this opportunity, it always works out. Sometimes it doesn't work out how you expect it to, people, but every door is meant for you to show you growth or lead to another opportunity, but you got to be willing to embrace it. And I have to reinforce it. A lot of times we don't do what we want to do or we don't do what we love out of fear. And I think that's a big part of what we do as coaches, as business owners, Cheryl, is we help you to step out of that zone of being fearful to that zone of being in abundance, to being purposeful and doing what you love with intention and clarity. And when you do that, life magic, I'm going to use your word, magical things happen, right? Magic. So people, in order to do that, you got to be willing to step out of fear, step out of that comfort zone. I know that because like you talked about being vulnerable, definitely something I've worked on these past couple of years, and still so many things I have to share and do to really be more vulnerable. But you guys got to start somewhere, people. So think about what you're doing today. Think about the life you want to live and how do you get there? How are you going to get there? I talk about strategy is a big part of it. Being mindfulness, being mindful of what you do every day plays a significant role. And so we just got to do it, people, because this is our one life. Let's make it count, right? So as we wrap up, this has been so lovely. Cheryl, we got to do an event together or something. Like, now you're not in Cali anymore. I love California. I was saying to them, like, I ain't traveling to the U.S. right now anytime soon. But I would love to do something with you. We'll talk offline about that because I see so much synergy and like how we could, help a lot more people. So I know that you mentioned there's a promo code or something that people can get 10% off or
I don't remember. We talked so long ago. I don't even know. So there's a couple of things. So there's two things. What we're doing is you are going to get a discount code to the website where you get 15% off all of the Please Notes goodies. All right. Then the second thing is I'm having my new 6-week course that's launching September 1st. And you get to have 15% off of that as well. I think we have the code as like NBR, if I'm not mistaken. I think that just hit me. But the Clear and Confident course, if you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, if you're just tired of waiting for something to happen to you, for the right thing to fall into place, if you really want to take a look at where you want to go in life and like the steps you need to take in order to be that successful version of you, you're going to want to check out this 6-week course. We've got a plethora of people from all over the world already signed up. Some people from the North America, we've got people from Croatia, from London, from like all over, from Australia. It's really, really cool. And the most important thing is like you're going to have a juicy community that's going to support you just because they want to support you as you continue to grow and step into becoming the successful version of you.
Love it, love it, love it. Like, you know, I say when you find your purpose, you find your life, people. Everything begins with your purpose, but you got to be intentional about it. You got to be clear about what that is, and then you got to actually take action. So, Cheryl, it's been pleasant. It's been, you know, your favorite word, juicy, delicious, magical. I love having you out here today on Instagram Live, and we'll be in contact. I'll touch base with you after, and yeah, thanks for the promo codes for people. NBR is the code to use for any of her Please Note goods or her webinars to save 15%. I believe that's what I heard. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I got literally 2 minutes on Instagram before they kicked me off. So, girl, keep doing the thing. You're doing amazing things. I love seeing, like I said, other, especially women, you know, out there doing their thing without fear. Like, we all got a purpose, people. So let's just do it. Let's step into our greatness. Let's own it. And let's do magical things. All right. So thanks for joining.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me. All right. Take care. Bye. All right, people. That was amazing. It's not often every day I get to talk to someone that I really resonate with. You know, I hope you took a lot from that show today, like chatting with Cheryl. But at the end of the day, people, I want you to know that you are amazing. There's a reason why you were born. And when you find it, when you discover your purpose with greatness, with clarity, with intention, beautiful things happen. But you got to know it. You got to know it. You got to believe it to receive it. So how I like to sign off, be confident in who you are, truthfully. Be fearless enough to pursue what sets your soul on fire. Be bold enough to own your greatness. But more importantly, beautiful people, queens and kings, be you, because there's no one else in this world like you. All right. My name is Natasha Russell, signing off.